got a mask off.
We do have a mask off.
I don't want to say I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I just know it's bumped up against my hunting excursion there.
Yeah, I figured that's why we were doing this, but
well, no,
okay.
I would like to read the email from Jamathan. I'm not going to read it because we don't do emails on mask off, but I just know Jamathan's a hunter, and for him to see this city slicker out there, with ducks and shit, I would like to convey what he had to say. Yeah. So maybe he'll touch on that once again. Yeah. But we got a mask off. Tell him what a mask off is, bro.
We do have a mask off, guys. So those of you that are new and joining us here on these mask offs, and typically we do have new guests that join us whenever we do these. A mask off is when we bring in somebody that does something better than we do it. They do something different than we've ever done. And we peel that mask off, essentially, and get to know them, get to know what it is they're about and how they do that. So, without further delay, to our mask off guest, what is your name?
You normally say adieu.
I know, I actually
threw me off.
I thought about it, and I said, no, I'm going to do without further delay. Without further ado, to our mask off guest, what is your name and what is it that you do?
It's Rudy Atencio. I work at Smith's Dairy. I make ice cream and work in maintenance, but that's not why I'm here. We're here to talk about a previous life where, I was part of a family around the hunting guide business and that sort of thing. So that's where the hunting thing comes in.
When you came into that, you said a previous life, and you said a family running. I was thinking you were going to drop some mob shit on us, man. I thought I was a part of the Anastasia family, and I got 5 bodies on me. You made me nervous. All right, so when we have a mask off, we like to warm them up.
Okay,
right?
I'm going to need it.
So this is you out there, you're sniffing the air, and you're licking your finger and testing the wind, okay? Did you ever have underoos when you were a kid?
Yes.
Who did you have?
Oh, who did we have? I had those, and I remember what were the jeans where they put
Tuskins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
underoos. Some kind of superhero, some kind.
Yeah,
Back in
Incredible
the
Hulk.
day. It was
Batman.
I think the Hulk, one of them.
Do they still make underoos?
I have no idea.
That, in my mind, especially now, you think underoos would be fucking just floating in the stratosphere. They'd be like Jeff Bezos because everything's a superhero movie, and to wear those underwear. I remember I had Batman, and I wasn't even a Batman fan. But I had a pair of Batman underoos, and I thought I was the shit, man.
Well, I will tell you this. They do make underoos, but not for the reason that you two would have worn them. It's more of a novelty item now. You can wear it as like a Halloween costume or some shit like that. So.
Stupid.
Yeah, no, I'd still wear it as a Halloween costume.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
Why?
I've always owned red trucks, and I built a 1973 Ford, painted it bicentennial candy apple red.
Red cars are the
red
best.
car,
Indelible.
souped it up,
Indelible, huh?
and everything else up till now, every truck I owned, because I didn't own a car, I owned trucks.
Okay.
My first car was a truck. It was red. The truck I bought on my own was green. I painted it red.
And Bitch, you will learn, right?
Yeah, and then I got rid of that one. First new vehicle I bought was red.
Badass.
Yeah.
First concert you ever went to?
Oh
shit! He got excited. I like that.
Nazareth and Molly Hatchet.
Who and what? Nazareth.
Yeah, They were like 1978. They were.
I never heard. What's their big hit? Nazareth.
Oh, Nazareth.
I know my music, and he got me on this one.
I'm sure you've heard.
Molly Hatchet was like. I can't even remember.
Nazareth.
Is Nazareth Love Hurts?
Yes.
Love Hurts.
Yes.
Love.
Yeah.
Oh, they use that in a lot of commercials and stuff.
And,
I didn't know Nazareth. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I paid like $8.
Isn't that crazy,
yeah,
man?
Yeah, we were like
before they got into what is that Live Nation and all that shit to make all their money. Okay, last question from me. Are you superstitious?
Yes and no.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yes, I believe that it's there. No, because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Nor part of me doesn't want to.
So you have no ritual or anything before you do anything? Me, I get dressed every day, every work day. I put my right sock on, I put my left sock on, and I wear 2 pairs of socks because I'm a weirdo. Then I put my right sock on again and my left sock on. I have to do it. If I don't do it that way, shit's fucked up. I go back to bed.
Yeah, creature of habit. But you also wear what you do. You have an appearance.
Yeah.
Too.
So
I don't.
I
I don't. Tennis shoes. Sometimes my socks don't even match.
I'm a jazz fan. It's well known on the show that if I'm watching them and so this year's going to be rough.
Yeah.
When I'm watching them and if they're winning, I can stay watching. if I'm watching and they start losing, I have to shut it off and go to the radio.
Because it's your fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm the one that's causing them to lose, so I have to shut it off.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it's never won us a championship. Anyway,
I'm superstitious.
only question for me is, which era do you wish you were born in?
Ooh, I'd avoid the '60s just because I don't want to mess with the '60s.
Yeah.
I was even though I was born in the '60s, but as a baby, 50s would have been cool. It would have been a different time.
Also not the reason I'm thinking. Okay, so why the 50s?
I think it was right before, and it was the end of when you start being aware. Like Elvis was still around, and you hear your grandfather and your other people talk about what it was when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's part of you that says, yeah, man, the hunting thing, let's go back to when everything was open and there wasn't private property and you could go wherever, shoot whatever, and do all that. Part of that would have been cool too.
Open Range, Robert Duvall and Kevin
love
Costner.
Love it.
It's like a 9-hour movie, but it's a damn good movie.
I like that one. Lonesome Dove is my favorite show of all time.
Lonesome Dove. Who's the lead?
Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
Yeah,
That's not a Clint movie. No,
it was a TV show that went it was a miniseries.
Okay.
And it went like for a week.
Mhm.
It was awesome.
All right.
And then Tombstone, of course. I'm Tombstone. I quote Tombstone.
Tombstone's great, but people sleep on Unforgiven with Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood.
When that one first came out, that one was
Badass.
badass. Yeah.
I think that was 91.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Well, so that is the end of our warm-up question for you. What it does bring us to, though, is our snaggles.
Oh shit!
Oh, here we go.
Snaggles, and I don't even know where to begin. Our guest typically introduces our snaggles, and there's so much.
But first, let me say this: we've had many a mask off that have brought us alcohol.
Yeah.
Diego, Mac, Shay,
Bolo.
They all bring us alcohol. I've never had anybody bring us. Would you want to read off some of these things we're drinking?
Yeah, sure. What you guys just had was a Seven Devils Sunny Slope Honey. It's at a Koenig distillery out of Boise.
Okay.
And I took the wife to a wine tour, and we got to
ended up with whiskey on a wine tour.
Ended up with whiskey on a wine tour.
Okay.
And you guys had that. It's a mix between a bourbon and a rye.
It's delicious, by the way.
It's a little sweet, but it is good. And then when we first got here, my wife packed this. By the way, I was getting ready, and I said, hey, we should probably get these guys something to drink. And she says, hey, okay, I'll throw some things together. And I have a Harley Davidson kind of travel cooler. It looks like a carry-on that you take to the
It's as big or bigger than a carry-on.
Yeah,
That's right.
and so we got here. She packed it, and we were kind of unpacking it, and I saw she packed the ingredients for an Irish car bomb. So we had an Irish car bomb. I brought a Rebecca Creek Fine Texas Blended whiskey. You guys should like this one.
Hand me that. I haven't had that one.
You guys will really like that one. That one's pretty smooth.
Bailey Irish Cream, Guinness. You gave me a Crown Royal Whiskey Lemonade, which is in a can and fucking delicious.
And I have a tribute to Bolo, and whether or not Rudy knew this or not, Jameson, Ginger, and Lime. When Bolo's visited us here in the woodshed, this is all that he has. So
ginger beer, yeah.
Yep.
Ginger beer.
I'm excited for this one. Yes, sir.
He's got Jameson in there. I mean, the list goes on and on. Is that one of these?
Yeah, that's a Crown Royal.
Can I have that, please?
Sure. So
Thank you, sir.
The Crown Royals in the can are really delicious. They can you buy those in Utah?
Yeah, I think the wife was getting them. No, I think we got these in Idaho.
Yeah, I was going to say the only place I've ever bought them was in Mesquite or in Vegas.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I don't know if you can get those in Utah, but either way, they're delicious.
We got them now.
Yeah,
and then
got them in the woodshed.
We got a lemon drop out of Heretic Craft Distillery. You guys probably like that one too. That one's really good too.
I'll drink that too.
So, the long and the short of it is, the Keith and the Wood of it is.
You like that wood? You've had that before. Huckleberry lemonade. Haven't you had that?
Yeah, I've had that one before. I'll take that.
That's out of Dry Fly. That's out of Washington.
It's like a fucking auction in here, man.
It's like a clown car that he just keeps pulling shit out of.
Like the what's the Breakfast Club. Remember Emilio Estevez?
right.
Just start
just
keep
pulling
pulling stuff
stuff
out of
out.
his lunch
Yeah.
bag.
That's
And
what's
your
happening.
wife also packs snacks, which is
Yeah.
awesome because she doesn't want
Yeah.
anybody to throw up on this show.
No, we're probably not going to eat those snacks because they'll be too crunchy in the mic. Maybe if we took a break, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, guys, as always, your Snaggles is brought to you by first and foremost. Oh man, I hit a button. There we go. Tiger Claw Tattoo, 801-410-4245. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it one time only, so pay attention. Those of you that are listening, please listen up. Listen clearly. Shay is out of commission for a bit again, so don't expect him, but there are...
But that's all right. The business is still running.
Right, yeah. I was
Those
just going to
motherfuckers
say.
been vetted.
But there's 4 or 5 other artists in that shop that will do every bit as good. They could do anything from realistic to anime to Japanese to something that your kid drew and you want it put on your body.
You got a tattoo, Rudy?
No, I'm getting one.
What are you going to get?
As you know, I'm battling cancer currently, and I have a cancer tattoo that I'm working on that I want to get in. And
Damn.
luckily, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. I'll probably look these guys up.
Yeah.
Definitely look them up.
So I'm going to tell you right now, Tiger Claw Tattoo is whatever you can imagine, whatever you could dream up. They're going to make it better than what you just dreamed up or thought of. And especially when it goes to a good cause like that, make sure you hit them up. They'll take care of you. That's Tiger Claw Tattoo, guys. Please, if you got something you want to put on your body, do that. Next up, we have MVP Jersey Framing. Part of me, now, I don't know if MVP Jersey Framing, that's MVPJerseyFraming.com. Now, I don't know if he'll frame bottles, but I feel like this mask-off in particular, I want to frame all of the cans and bottles that are in the woodshed right now. I think it would be a feat.
I got admonished over email because last week I was on this song stuff and I had, he should use this song, he should use that song. Somebody emailed me and said, the song you should use for MVP Jersey Framing is "We Are the Champions," and then they followed that up with "You dumbass." How did you not get that? Yeah, We Are the Champions for MVP
I
Jersey.
feel like we should read your email if you insult Keith. Let's do that. Anyway, guys, 801-910-7556 if you want to call them, MVPJerseyFraming.com if you want to check out the website. Last up, we have Kick Rocks. That's Kick Rocks Clothing. They're on Instagram. I believe it's KIKROX Clothing after the Instagram.com. So he's got some really cool stuff, and I've said it probably, I think this is the 3rd or the 4th week in a row. I can't remember. He's moved some of his artwork from pencil drawn and hand drawn to digitally drawn. I mean, he's still doing it with a digital pen. It's incredible. I think it took his artwork from like a 10 to a 15.
You
it's
see that hot
incredible.
sister you drew? The hot sister you drew by pen?
The what?
Pencil. The hot sister. The hot black girl. You fucking pay attention.
First of all,
hot sister.
First of all, I heard hostis, and then I heard hostage, then I heard hostels. Hot sis.
Sister.
Yeah.
He drew the hot sister
Yes,
with
did.
pencil.
Yeah, I took it. I put it in the bank.
And he and he's got a brick and mortar now.
Yeah,
he's got a brick and mortar on Orlando, Florida.
So check him out. He put up on his story some of his clothing that are on some mannequins, and damn, Kick Rocks is doing some shit over
What'd you
there.
say, hostile?
Yeah.
Idiot.
Hostage, hostile, everything. I don't. Sometimes when we have an entire woodshed of Snaggles, it's hard to understand what the hell's happening. So anyway, you guys, go check out those spots. That's it. That's the end of it. I'm turning it over to you for a minute, Keith, because I got to fix our camera.
Rudy, we're back.
You're off the
Okay.
camera.
We're back. So, what is it that you do? You say you had a family of trackers?
No, my uncle and my father ran a guide business where they took people hunting, clients out, and they'd hunt deer, they'd hunt elk, but their specialty was mountain lions.
How do you get in? How did they get into that?
They met a guy that kind of turned them on to it, and they chased a lion and got hooked.
Talk to me about tracking a mountain lion. So your grandparent, or excuse me, your father and your uncle did it, and you paid attention. You were around, eating Tootsie Rolls and shit, and kind of hanging out, right?
Yeah,
doing the shit work, right?
Yeah, you did exactly. You
Yeah.
did the shit work, because they took care of the client. You fed eight mountain lion hounds, and you took care of the horses, and you did everything else while these guys had the fun.
Okay, excuse me. I know dogs. I've never heard of a mountain lion hound.
There's several different breeds, blue ticks, red ticks, black and tans. We ran mostly plots, and they're kind of a brindle dog. They're
So you also know how to train a dog to get the what is it, gameness to chase the
not
mountain
them.
lions? No.
No, not them. That
Okay.
those we did that. They did that, but it is such a high end to get a pack of mountain lion dogs ready to go now. 3-4 dogs, you're looking at 15 grand,
Yeah.
ready to go,
Yeah.
ready
Wow.
to go.
And there's no guarantee those motherfuckers show up back from the hunt.
Those,
right?
well, you know what? We had some disappear. We had some disappear, but then it's crazy because they'd come back to the road.
Mhm.
And you'd pick them up on a road. Now they've got GPS trackers and
No,
and they've
I'm
got
talking
collars.
about the fact that the mountain lion won that round. Is
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
Like
Yes.
there's times they took off and they'd ledge up and they'd go over where the dogs couldn't go
and eviscerate the dog.
and they
Yeah.
we had a couple get there.
Yeah.
We had a couple where the mountain lion did really well. Vets got paid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we had
Oh,
to put
wow.
them back
So
together.
at what age did you start saying, all right, uncle and dad, I can do this shit? And how old were you when you started going out with them?
I was pretty young. I'd go, but I didn't go out. They went and we took care of everything else. They had to do that, and they didn't have time to mess around with 10, 12-year-old kids.
Mhm.
And then I had the same uncle. We were in probably, God, what was I? I was probably 14,
Okay.
and my uncle, if you didn't have nothing to do, he found something for you to do.
Yeah, I had a dad like that.
Yeah, and he sent us up one day. I spent the night at my cousin's house, and he said, and we were just laying around. We weren't doing anything. He said, hey, I want you guys to go up there. I'm like, I'm going home.
Go where? Go up where?
He up on the mountain. He said, I think I know where a mountain lion is. I want you guys to go up there and see if he's there. Yeah, he did.
Just go.
Yeah,
just
that's
go.
what he did. That's
You know
what he
what?
did.
You know what,
Yep.
boys? You'll be fine.
Yeah,
Run fast.
yeah,
Climb-
that's what he did.
You can't outrun it. You can't outclimb the damn thing. You just gotta put your hands
and
in.
so what it was he hated us laying around,
Yeah.
and so he's like, go up, and I was
So
like,
he'd rather go get fucked up by a mountain lion.
yeah. And so we'd go up there, and we took some dogs. He said, take these 3 dogs. I don't know what these dogs are going to do. I want you guys to take these dogs and see if you can start him. If you can start him, start him. And
What is stardom?
like if you can dump the dogs on him
For the scent.
and see
Oh,
if you
wow,
can
yeah,
tree him.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
can tree him, tree him.
Hey, how well do you know your Fred Flintstones?
I think
Pretty good?
yeah.
Okay, there's a scene where Barney. This is in my head, and I got to get it
okay,
out. Okay,
I'm following you. Yeah.
there's a scene where Barney and Fred are fighting. Okay, they got some pool room, and they divide the room right down the middle, right? And so Barney gets a saber-toothed tiger to guard his side of the room.
Yeah, I've seen
Okay?
this one. I know.
And
what you're
Fred
talking about.
walks over there and he's flicking the saber-toothed tiger on the nose. He's like, "Shut the fuck up, you
It's-
piece of shit!"
It's
right?
chained, so it can
It's
only
shady.
go.
It can
to
only
the
go
edge
so
of the
far.
light,
Fred's
yeah.
like, shut up. So the saber-toothed tiger is like, okay, Fred, you want to fuck with me? So he takes a line and he scribbles it out and he draws a new line closer. And he takes the extra rope and he puts it behind him. And when Fred comes up to the line and he tells the saber-toothed tiger to shut the fuck up, saber-toothed tiger just jumps on him and hugs him. And he's face to face. And the next scene is Fred going, wow, that saber-toothed tiger really got a hold of me. And Fred's all fucked up.
So it's like-
so that's what I see when you're done.
So it's like the foghorn leghorn.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing with the dog. He paddles his ass with the board and then takes off, and he knows where the chain ends.
Right,
yeah.
right, and he fixes it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're up there and you're starting. a
Yeah,
mountain
we,
lion.
we went up there and we did find it, and it was an old track. You could tell it was old. It was melted out, and I begged my cousin to not do it because this is old.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you again. What is melted out? What does that mean?
Like the sun melted it out.
This is in the
it's
snow.
in the
Yeah,
snow.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's in the
Okay,
snow, and,
alright.
and it's kind of melted out. You can tell
So it's
old.
bigger than it's supposed to
Yeah, and it's old and it's frozen, and the dogs aren't hitting it. They were baying a little bit. They were barking a little bit. They could tell it was there, but it wasn't a hot scent. And he said, my dad's gonna get mad. We got to turn these dogs loose. And so he turned them loose, even though we begged him. And they did start it. They went, and he was a couple days. He was a couple days ahead of us, and he was gone. So we ended up cutting them off, catching them, and bringing them down. And I was like, you know what? If that was a fresh track, we'd have caught him. And we were just kids. We were
be. A couple of days ahead of you.
yeah. He was a couple days ahead of us. He hadn't been there. He was gone. He was gone.
But my question is, so how did you pick up that knowledge? This is just hanging around the camp with your uncle and your father.
Yeah, and if you guys, you could tell if there was a fresh one. You could tell it. You know, he was just here. You know, you can tell if you look at a track.
No, excuse me. You can tell. I
Well,
can't tell
you
shit.
know, I bet you could. I'll bet you could. I'll bet you could. If you put them side by side and I said which one's old, it would be immediate. Oh,
Okay.
that one's old.
Okay.
You know, there's been times when I've been 5 minutes behind a mountain lion. I've been, literally
Wow.
5 minutes, less than 5.
Okay.
We were
It's
on
incredible.
we were on top of each other.
Can the dogs run the mountain lion tired?
Yeah, they'll run them until they put them in a tree. They'll
Right.
run them, and you know that cat has no other option but to jump in a tree, and that's usually
And that's
where
when the guys looking to hunt them
that's when
go get 'em.
they run to the tree because you can hear them. You know that there's a different bark. There's a different when they're running, they'll hear it when they're at the tree. It's like a riot. You know they're all
Yeah.
they're
Everybody's all giddy. He's
they're
right
ready
there.
to go. He's right there, and you can tell them that, and that's when they they're treed. Everybody, a houndsman will tell you, hey, my dogs are barking treed.
Okay.
That means they've caught him.
Different experience, Keith, than your dogs that you saw last week. No, it'd have been 2 weeks. No, yeah, it was
Last
week.
week. It was last week.
Yeah, those dogs have to shut up.
Right.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
And then they go and just pick up the bird and bring the poor little
So
thing
I
back.
went dunk hunting.
Oh yeah,
What did I say?
Dunk.
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 You said dunk.
It was
You
either a donut or a basketball.
I used to be able to dunk. I went.
You said dunk hunting.
But I caught it.
So you dunked on the
I
hut.
caught it. Do I get partial credit for that? I caught it.
No.
I went duck hunting. God damn it. I went trying to ice some ducks the other day.
Yeah.
Right? And all this alcohol, you don't think I'm going to have some missteps?
No, I love it. This makes for the greatest little clips that we could ever have going forward. So keep it up.
I couldn't shoot shit. And truth be told, and I hope my boy Pug's not listening, deep down, I don't think I wanted to shoot anything.
No, you didn't.
That
You know,
probably not.
Because,
Cut it
like I
up.
told Wood, I don't like touching dead shit.
No.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I don't like watching them die. to be
Well,
honest
you know,
with
and
well, they die pretty fucking quick.
No. So there's
of
this
them-
one time.
He said, no.
So when I went, I told you about the time I went, and I had and my brother-in-law had to wring the duck's neck.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Traumatizing.
Yeah.
Secondly, I went out with a buddy, and he's like, in fact, we had him on the show. It was a mask-off guest, Ryan, if you recall. You go back to last.
The cop.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
go back to last December and listen to his show. So he's like, hey, come hunting with me. I don't do that. I can't. I can't kill an animal. So we see this bird just chilling on a river pond because, like the river's not flowing. It kind of
A
opens
river
up.
pond. Even I know that's not feasible.
No, it's a thing. So the river flows and then there's it kind of opens up to a little pond area so it mellows out before it goes into the river again. Anyway, there's a bird sitting there. And he shotgun blasts that thing from 3 feet away. All I saw was feathers.
Yeah, that's
It's
done.
traumatizing. I can't do it. Just like I can't decide which drink to have. I can't kill.
I feel with a double fist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. And sometimes, even
Yeah.
though if you are a hunter like I am, and I don't hunt like I used to, it's hard to take a life.
Yeah.
I get it. It's hard to take, even though it's an animal. Sometimes it's hard to take a life.
Have you ever hunted coyotes?
Yes.
See, I couldn't do that. And I would have thought your answer would have been no because I know you love dogs. I couldn't do that one.
Yeah, and
You
there's
have to separate it, I imagine.
you do
right?
have to separate it, because they prey on what you hunt, and and the whole hunting thing is kind of twisted anyway because you got all these guys that are anti-mountain lion guys. Oh, because the mountain lion eats deer. The mountain lion kills
He's
deer.
hungry.
Yeah, he's hungry.
Yeah, he's
and,
got to
and,
eat something.
and everybody's all pissed off that these mountain lion are eating these deer. But what you really, okay, you're a deer hunter and you're pissed off because the mountain lions are killing the deer. Well, the deer dies anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
Yeah,
you
that's
shoot,
true.
whether
Yeah, that's
you
true.
shoot it, mountain lion gets it, the deer dies anyway.
Yeah.
And so we call it, my brother, who's a guide in Florida, he's
Older or younger?
He's younger. He's my stepbrother. He's a guide in Florida. He calls it the tax man. And so he'll fish, you'll catch a tarpon and a hammerhead shark will come up and bite it in half.
That's the tax.
And that's a tax man.
Yeah.
And I equate the mountain lion, that's a tax man. That's how he makes his living.
Yeah.
And we're up there, you don't own that. You're a hunter and you bought the tag and you get all that, but that mountain lion, I like them. People,
Mountain lions?
oh yeah, I like them. People despise them here because they're the main predator of what they're trying to hunt,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't like them. I like them. I think to see them, you don't see them very often. We hunted them I've had some pretty cool experiences with mountain lions.
Does your brother, can he fuck with alligators and shit? Does he jump on those?
No, he's down in the Keys. And I've never seen one down there.
No? The boa constrictor is down there, though, because people release them down there.
Yeah, and I think that's, we didn't see him.
You didn't see it? So you were down there?
No, I went down there looking for all that stereotypical Florida, gators and all of that, and I didn't see any of them.
Okay, so tell me this. Me and Wood show up, and Wood's got his squirt gun, and I got my, I don't know, my slingshot, and Wood's like, let's go get a mountain lion.
Okay.
Right? And you take us where, and we look for what?
They're a creature of habit. You'd look for one to come through.
Where do we go, though?
Typically, we would, I have some, my family goes north, and up around the Portage area. Right here on the front, there's all kinds of mountain lions on the front.
Portage?
That's on the way to Malad.
Idaho.
There's a Portage area?
No,
it's called
town.
Portage, or is this field?
No, it's in a little farming community, and it's up there. There's mountain lions all over, but you wait and you go out and you try to find them, and that you spend more time looking than you do hunting.
Do you go before us?
Yeah, I'd go.
Yeah,
if I knew you guys were coming, I'd
So you'd go and scout it.
Yeah,
prior
I'd scout
to
it out, and
seeing
I'd have some contacts, and I'd have some farmers and things like that, and guys, and say, hey, you seen a mountain lion, or I'd find a deer kill, or something like that. And the thing about mountain lions is you only kill the toms. You don't kill females.
A male's
Why?
called a tom?
Mm-hmm.
The females are smarter?
No, the females, they want to, for the same reason
reproduce.
you don't shoot doe deer.
So how do you, what? See, all this is news to me, because I just went duck
Yeah,
hunting, and
yeah,
they weren't
if you-
like, don't shoot the guys, just shoot the girls, or vice versa.
Yeah,
they didn't have none of that
It's
shit.
the same. It's basically the same, pheasants, you shoot the males, you shoot the roosters.
I would have no idea.
I'm fucking confused.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
should.
bird.
If you don't hunt, you should.
I do know this. I know in the animal kingdom, usually the male is the better looking one. Like the peacock male is the one with the things, and the
Yeah, yeah.
peacock woman.
Yeah, and it's the same.
I always like the lions. He's got the big mane. He looks
Yeah, you
like-
couldn't tell. You couldn't tell a female mountain lion from a male. I mean, the head's bigger. It's a bigger animal. But if you knew them, if you looked at them, which one's a male, which one's a female.
Okay.
Odds are pretty good.
So here's
couldn't
me
tell.
hanging out with the rednecks last week. If you draw down on
Oh, here you go.
If you draw
Take it easy, Wyatt. Calm down.
if you draw down on a female, how do you know it's a female? You said the head's bigger.
There's a track. You can tell by the track. The stride and things like that. And it's.
It's not like a code word like "show me a coochie."
Mm-mm.
No.
That seems like it's a lot harder than deer because
Yeah, it's got horns.
yeah,
yeah, you
versus
shoot.
not
Mhm.
and ducks. Isn't the mallard the boy and the
Oh,
like
boy.
the ugly
The
looking
drake.
duck?
A drake
is-
would be the mallard male, the greenhead.
Yeah, and then the ugly ones are the females.
Yeah, typically
so,
in birds. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
see? So back to the same, like the males.
So
look
what are
the
you looking for on that trail? Me and Wood, again, he's got a squirt gun. I got my slingshot. What are you looking for? So you take us to an area, and the farmer said, "Yeah, my cow got killed. It wasn't aliens. I believe in aliens. I do.
I get it,
believe
man.
That fucking that cattle
I
mutilation shit.
told you.
Don't get me fucking started, Rudy.
Told you.
Okay,
Ever since the government came out and said that the aliens were real, man, Kyle, I feel so validated.
it took you that long?
No, I knew
Oh,
it.
you said you feel validated.
I feel validated.
Okay.
Finally, after all of these years telling people this is what it is.
I don't need the government to validate me. I remember the Tuskegee experiment. Okay, I don't need validation.
Yeah,
from those motherfuckers.
if you've ever been a young kid and made to sit on a curb, by your local authorities, you get it. You don't need the government. You don't need the
till we
government
figure this shit out, right?
To figure this shit
So
out.
we go to the trailhead. No, they're not gonna.
you find a track.
All right, so
he'll kill something. He'll stay there.
You looking for a paw print? Or you looking for the way the grass is?
No, you look for the paw print. You look for the track, and you can tell by looking at the track.
Okay.
There's a difference between a male and a female, and
Male's gonna be bigger.
Male's going to be, it's going to be a little bit wider than it is tall. Females are going to be a little bit more round, and you can tell by the track.
Okay.
And then if it's a female, don't bother.
But when they walk in rocks and when they walk in grass, how do you still track them?
Well, you got to straighten them out. You don't just find the track and just turn your dogs loose. That was another thing that sucked too, because you would have to straighten him out. You would have to find out where he goes, because if you dump the dogs, and he's gone, you kind of shorten that race. We call it a race because that's what it is. And you kind of straighten it out. Okay, we found him here. We'll follow him this way. This way he's going to go this way, and that way. And you try to shorten the amount of distance that you chase him. So you found him here, but I think he's still going up there. I'm looking and I can see the track up there.
They'll move up.
So we'll go where, and he might go up, he might go down, he might go
okay.
wherever. Because he's just he doesn't know you're chasing him yet.
Are you on a horse?
Sometimes,
Okay.
sometimes, but for the most part, no. Because sometimes you can't get a horse in there. You know, some places,
Really?
some places you can take a horse the whole time. You know, we've done it both ways.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen like I've walked places in the mountains where I thought any like a horse, even a dog, sometimes it's kind of tricky for them, but the dogs are pretty agile. So the only one experience, I don't even have an experience with a mountain lion, but my brother does. So the one experience I have is the one that's mounted on his wall.
Yeah, he killed
which
it.
is
Yeah,
pretty incredible. So and I asked him while you were talking, because you were talking about dogs. He had a mountain cur.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So this dog, incredible tracking dog. She didn't live very long. She got something, but what an incredible dog! Like, you could send her on a scent and she would just disappear. You could hear her barking and find her miles away.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Like,
we had
incredible animals.
Yeah, well, we had a strike dog. We had a dog that had an amazing nose, and we would literally put her on we would modify the bumper of a truck, and we would put her on the bumper, and she would ride on the bumper. And she
okay. I'm glad you clarified that.
And so like, that cur,
she dragging you,
yeah,
or you dragging
that
her?
cur, and we would drive, and she would win something or not, or we would find a track, and we would put the strike dog down, and typically that strike dog wouldn't. She was pretty. You know, she was right on. She was that good, and that if she struck, and that if she lined out, and when I say lined out, she's running. She's got it. Okay.
She's full on sprinting.
She's full.
All 4 feet are off the ground.
She's got him.
Got it.
And then you release the rest. You know.
A strike dog's not a breed of dog. It's a type of dog.
It's a type of dog.
It's a type of dog.
And
so
it
can be a culmination. It could be part
it could
English Shepherd, part
it could be whatever
Retriever. Okay.
So ours was I think she was I want to say she was a walker. She was, and there's so many different types of hounds. There's walkers, blue ticks. We had plots, black and tans. You know, there's just the whole whatever dog will hunt is the one you want.
So, not to get into your pocket, but what was the fee you would charge to take Wood out with his bullshit?
I think like back then it wasn't too bad. Like we're looking, you know, early 80s, you know, late 70s, early, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000. I think
nice money.
I think a mountain lion now. I haven't done it. Probably $5,000. $5,000-$6,000, I would imagine. I don't know. I don't know what a mountain lion would cost. $4,500, $5,000.
And what does it take to get that license to go?
You got to draw the tag. You know, depends. Like out west is Raft River. You got to draw that tag. You know, and they have areas, and then they have a quota. Once the quota's met, the hunt's over. That unit's shut down.
Okay.
And so that's where that was.
Okay. You ever run into weird shit out there?
Yeah.
I'm listening to a podcast right now where people disappear in national parks, right? And they're thinking it's Bigfoot. You ever seen a Yeti? You shut me down.
I get what you're saying. Where I was fly fishing, I was doing a little guiding up there, and there was a camp. It was an old Indian camp, is what it was, and you could go there and you could find buffalo ribs and you could find arrowheads. And my wife has a black obsidian she found.
Obsidian, what's that?
It's like a rock where they would make the arrowheads out of.
Okay.
Indians would chip it. My wife has one. And if you're ever out in Wyoming, this is borders Wyoming, out on the other side of Evanston where this ranch is. And if you ever know Wyoming, the wind blows. And it blows every day.
Okay.
And we were there, and the wind's blowing, and it starts, and I'll never forget it because I went and got a jacket. You know, the leaves started moving, and okay, here comes the wind. It's going to start blowing. Okay. It's going to come blowing out of Wyoming into Utah, and it's going to blow, and it's not going to stop. So I went and got a jacket, and we're looking for these arrowheads, and suspicious, you know, superstitious a little bit because we don't dig. We don't dig at that Indian camp. We'll go where a badger digs or we'll go where a cow steps because I will not shovel. I will not screen because it is an Indian camp.
That's like Young Guns 2.
I
When
won't-
Chavez tells...
Oh,
fucking-
we're going around that cemetery.
Yeah, right. We're
Yeah,
going around
we're
that
going
today.
around
When
that
Chavez
cemetery.
tells, what's his name? Christian Slater,
Yeah.
we're not fucking doing
Yeah.
that. And he's like,
Yeah.
you can get a $50 for an Indian
Yeah, it's
bow.
like we're going around that
Yeah, you know the
cemetery.
movie.
Yeah.
All right.
And so once the wind kicks up, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And my friend and I, Andy was there, my son was there, and we're just kind of looking, and we're looking, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, the wind just stopped. It just died.
Okay.
And that never happens. And I look up at and he looks at me, and I kind of looking around, and he looks at me, and I'm like, what the
Fuck.
what was that? What? Because it wasn't. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything, but I felt it, and it was heavy, and it was calm. Like everything just shut down.
Yeah.
Like nothing was there. Nothing moved, and you're like, okay.
Shit was different.
It was different.
Yeah.
It was enough to notice that it was okay.
Okay.
And I'm looking at him, and he goes, "You get that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think we should go. I think we should go." So every time we went back, it was like I would talk. I would say, "Hey, you know what? Hey, I'm cool, man. You know, I'm cool. Are we good? You know?" And I'm looking for arrowheads, and I'm looking for this, and it's crazy.
I believe that. It's like when we were
Yeah.
when we met Larry, the ghost hunter, for the
Yep.
first time. What did
Yep.
he say? He said, "Tell them, please stay here.
Yeah.
Don't come with us."
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, and there's the big thing of like the throw the salt over your shoulder or whatever. And Larry was like, all you have to do is communicate what it is your intentions are. So please stay here. I'm gonna leave. Like it's okay. You can stay. And that was
So
more
asking
of what
permission
it was.
is kind
Yeah,
of the
no,
same thing.
it wasn't like that. It was like, "Hey, man, you know, I'm back. You know, I'm not really gonna do anything. I'm not doing this for profit. I'm not gonna post anything. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just, I just want to see what you left behind."
What's the longest you ever tracked an animal?
All day,
mountain lion.
all day,
All day.
all day.
Oh wow.
It started. There are things that kind of changed me from hunting. Like I told you guys earlier, it's not all the animals I've killed over the years. It's not the kill. It's not. Those don't stick with me. That's not what I remember. It's these things that I was hunting. And this particular day I wasn't hunting, but it's not the kill of the animal that is my fondest memory.
That doesn't okay.
It's not that. Okay, I've got a trophy mule deer on my wall, and it was cool. But these things that I experienced, other than killing something, awesome, man. The hunting and killing an animal doesn't even compare to the other things that I've experienced with them.
Okay.
One was like it snowed, and I lived in Willard, and it snowed, and it was a new snow, and I grabbed a shotgun. And I went up on the hill because in Willard, there's not a lot to do. And I'm like 13, 14. Grabbed a shotgun. I go up and I'm kind of walking and going, and I see this sagebrush just moving. And I'm like thinking it was chuckers or something. And I'm going to shoot these chuckers.
Those are birds.
It's a bird, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go up there. It's got to be chuckers. So big sagebrush, probably bigger than this room, big. And it's powder snow, so I'm quiet. And I walk up there, and it's moving, and we're close. We're close, like we're 5 feet apart, me to you now.
Yeah.
And I'm looking up, and I'm looking for these chuckers, and I'm like, if them chuckers are in there, I'm gonna get them. And I'm kind of looking down, and I look up, and all of a sudden, this golden eagle, he comes flying.
Oh shit!
And he comes.
They're huge
Oh,
too.
he comes backwards. He comes backwards.
Motherfucker was moonwalking.
Oh yeah, he was backwards, coming out like flapping backwards. He was trying to catch air, and he was going backwards away from me, and he flew. And I'm from me to you, and I look, and what he did was he caught a rabbit, and what that sagebrush was doing, he was
tearing it apart.
He was eating this rabbit, and I walked up from me to you guys, and he got up, literally within feet.
Yeah, you can't. He's doing his thing. You can't fuck
He had
with him.
no idea, and he flew, and I couldn't believe what I saw, and I'm like, and it's just something that you don't see that. People can say they've seen it.
Those fucking things are huge.
He was
too.
a monster.
Yeah.
Rudy, I was driving one time to a basketball tournament. Me and my boy Fam and a bunch of other people were driving up to Montana. We're going to Anaconda, Montana, playing a basketball tournament. And up in the road, probably about, I don't know, quarter of a mile, there's something sitting in the road, and I'm looking out the window. I'm like, there's nothing out there. I'm like,
Yeah.
why
Why
is
is
there
that
this
little person
fucking
there?
dog just sitting in the middle of the fucking street? That's weird. And we're driving. We get closer. It's a fucking eagle, man. And it sat as high as a golden
Oh
retriever.
yeah, he was huge.
It was fucking huge.
Yeah, he was huge. I scared him. I don't know who scared. I don't know who scared. He scared me more than I scared him. But he flew, and he didn't fly far. You know, he just flew to get away from me. And I kind of looked around, and I was like, oh man, he shredded that rabbit. And I'm like, okay, you know. And the snow was deep, and I'm like, it's tough living up here, you know. Tough living up here for a predator or any kind of animal. And so I left, and I didn't mess with him. I just left, and I walked far, and he flew back.
Yeah.
You know, and he came back. You know, and that was to this day, that is one of the coolest things I've experienced in the woods. Coolest thing.
You ever been hunted by a mountain lion?
I don't know that I was hunted by him, but I had a friend of ours drew an elk tag, a late season elk tag, and my uncle called me and he said, "Hey, you know, let's go try to get this guy an elk." They lived in Salt Lake. I lived in Ogden. This was behind Causey when you could go back behind Causey, and he said, "You know, go up there, see if you can find these elk." I'm like, "Okay, it's gonna snow, so let's let it snow." So it snowed, and I waited a couple days. I did have a gun, but I wasn't hunting, so I'm looking for these elk for this guy. You know, I'm trying to locate these elk. And I'm walking, I'm just kind of going up, looking, because I know the elk haven't moved down. It hasn't snowed enough, but I know where the elk are going to be.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of headed that way. And I'm walking, and I look on the other side of the canyon. I'm walking, there's nothing there. It's new snow again, a couple days old, and I'm walking, and there's nothing over there because I'm looking for tracks, and I'm looking for sign. I'm looking for everything else. And so kind of walk through the trees, and I come out, and track's there. Track wasn't there. 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
So, and I'm like, what, you know, and it's fresh and I can't tell. And I'm like, let's go see. So I crossed over and it's a mountain lion. And it was a big mountain lion.
Yeah.
He had a step and he had a foot. And it was a big mountain lion. Full grown, mature mountain lion. It had to be big step. So he's walking and I'm like, well, I'm going to follow you. So
Which is crazy in my book.
I would second that. I would second that opinion.
There are encounters of mountain lions, but they're pretty shy.
Okay.
You know, they.
Yeah, but I feel like if you okay, you're not a barking dog and you can't chase one up a tree. So I feel like if one turns around and is like, "All right, asshole,
I'm done with you following me."
Yeah,
Nah,
and that's the thing, because a human.
I guess you said you had a gun with
Yeah,
you. So.
a human. Yeah, but he didn't know that, you know. And if you think about that, if you think about it, a human other than a gun is a pretty weak species. Very.
Oh, we're prey.
Can't see.
We're prey.
Can't see. Can't smell. Can't run.
Can't run.
Hear.
Can't hear.
Shit.
You know. And so if he really wanted to, even before I saw his track, he knew I was there.
Okay.
And so I started following him, and you know, he could have ran. You know, he could have left, but he was just walking. You know, and I'm like, I'm about 20 minutes behind you, and so he crossed back, and he got in the rocks, and I kind of lost him in the rocks. You know, and I kind of lost him, and I'm like, okay, where'd you go? And then he popped up down below, and he ended up standing where I was when I first seen him. So we made a circle.
He was coming.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? So
I'm coming to fuck you up, Rudy.
No, he wasn't. He really wasn't. To this day, I don't believe he was, because he could have. He really could have. So and I'm like, what are you doing? So my experience is, hey, he's gonna leave. He's gonna run. He's gonna flee. He's gonna just leave me alone. And he went back to where I first saw him, and so I went back down, and he crossed again. And I'm stopping, and I'm like, I'm 15 minutes behind him. And so he crossed again, and we go, and this time he goes higher. He just starts headed up, and I'm following behind him.
Visually, you're following behind him?
Yeah, I'm following his tracks. I can't see him. I can't see him. And so I'm like, what are you doing? So he goes into these pines and these trees, and there's a little hill. There's just like a little rise. And I can see, you know, he's just going up there. And I'm like, are you going to backtrack? You know, are you going to go up and turn around and do what you did? So instead of following him, I kind of cut him off, and I cut him off, and I was, oh yeah, he was coming down and I was coming up.
You saw him?
I never seen him.
Never saw him.
To that whole day, and we did that, like I say, all day. It was the better part of the day.
You know, he's somewhere telling the story. You know what? This one time, this motherfucker.
Yeah, see, and
right, and I saw it. I should have fucked him
and
up.
that's the thing. So to this day, I want to believe that he was just as curious about me as I was
definitely.
about him.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I believe that's the case.
Because I believe
100%,
it because he wasn't threatened by me,
No.
and I wasn't afraid of him. You know, I think he was.
There's the problem right there.
I think he was playing with me. I think he was. I really do because he came down.
Cat and mouse. You're the mouse.
And I cut him off, and then I was right behind. I cut that down to maybe 5 minutes, and then he went over a little hill, and I'm looking for him. I'm looking for him, and I'm like, you're right here, right here. I mean, his tracks are. He doesn't even make a track in the powder in the snow. You can just see where he never ran. He just walked. And yeah, so I'm like,
he's leading you to something.
yeah, and
He's leading you to his boys.
Hey, them lions are pretty
Dinner's coming.
pretty solitary, pretty solitary. Them males, you know, unless there's a female.
I want to know what you think about this, because I talked to my redneck boys, and I've told the story on podcasts before. So I'm camping, right? My girl likes camping, so by proxy, I have to go camping. And we're out I don't know where we're at. We're somewhere, but I go down, and all these trees, they call them washed down, right? They're fucking blown down. So I take my dog. You remember Boston? Come on.
Yeah.
We're down there, and I'm standing on top of a log, and Boston goes in front of me, and Kamal goes in front of me to the right. And all of a sudden, Boston runs back, and he just stands, and he looks where he just ran from. Kamal runs back, and he's looking behind me. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Now, you remember the size of those dogs. They couldn't run, right? They ran. And all of a sudden, Boston starts growling. So I said, fuck it, because I'm from the city. I take off. I just start running. I don't want no questions. I'm running. And now my redneck boys say there was a mountain lion tracking you.
It could have been, you know, without it. You know, those dogs. Your dogs don't know a mountain lion from anything. That's new to them too.
Yeah.
So if you take them into the woods, any scent is new. It could have been a deer. It could have been an elk. It could have been a skunk. It could very well could have been a mountain lion.
All I know is I finished first because one of you motherfuckers is gonna get eaten before I am.
Yeah, you
right?
know. Yeah,
y'all ain't got no pockets.
No.
I got pockets.
And they were big boys too.
Yeah,
so.
them dogs weren't afraid. And I did that. Me and that mountain lion did that. We did that most of the day. We did that, and all I wanted to do was see him. I didn't want to kill him. I didn't want to shoot at him. I didn't want to do anything.
Right.
I just wanted to see him.
Which brings us up to our next thing. Comes a point in time where you went from taking people out on hunts to actually just wanting to observe the animal.
Yeah, because when you do that for, you know, you don't get the enjoyment out of it when you do it for someone.
Okay.
You're not doing it for yourself.
Got it.
And then when that, you know, when we stopped doing that, I wanted to know, you know, like I say, when we hunted deer or we hunted elk, most of the time those deer and elk were in full panic mode.
Yeah.
During the hunting season, you know, they're
not their normal self.
Yeah, they're not their normal
stressed
self.
out.
They're
running.
Fucking light bills due and the rinse rate.
And hey, I ain't got it, man. You know.
And we're gonna get right back to his answer on how he transitioned and switched right after this break. Okay, now we are back from the break, but before we do, we got a question, Keith. I think this is mostly directed at you.
Okay.
Aaron's wondering if you'll go mountain lion chasing with Rudy and then record some of that trip.
Of me screaming and running and out of breath. Yeah, I'll record that in a heart. Yo,
Yeah.
no, first of all, Rudy, I need full disclosure for you. I always root for the animal. Again, I went duck hunting last week and the animal won, right? In my head, I'm rooting for the animal. I don't, unless the animal's fucking with me, like I could kill like a bat. You know what I mean? Because that's Dracula. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm getting ahead of the game, right?
I get it. There was a. I'll tell you guys a story, and this kind of changed me too. There was a deer in Wyoming. I didn't want to say it was in the early '90s. His name was Popeye.
Why?
They just called him Popeye. He was out of Wyoming. He was on the other side. He was out by Kemmer, and he was huge. He was a monster mule deer. He's the biggest. He was there. There's footage of him on YouTube.
Okay.
Popeye the mule deer. Huge, 40 plus inch wide.
He's on YouTube.
Yeah, he's on YouTube. Popeye the mule deer.
So no one
but
tries to kill him.
They
just kill
tried
him.
to kill him. Everybody knew about him. Everybody tried to kill him, and they never killed him.
Okay.
And I rooted for him to get away.
Yes.
I want, and I'm a deer hunter at the time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
let him go.
Yeah.
You know, let him go.
Let him be. Let him keep getting bigger.
Is that
Let him-
Popeye?
This is him.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I just
Yeah,
always root for the animal.
I
there.
do. I get it. You know, I do. I
Wow.
get it. Yeah.
And there's something to be said, to take down this majestic animal. And I always go back to like the Native Americans. They did it, and they used the antlers for their ghost dance. And they used the coat for the weather. They used every bit of that. They used the bladder for carry water and all that shit. That's badass. So for you, what switched you over from taking people out with a squirt gun and a slingshot to go kill mountain lions to saying, you know what, I just want to. First of all, what's the closest you ever got to a mountain lion?
Like
A
I said-
live one.
Oh, a live one? Oh, me to you?
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made that switch where you said, I don't want to take people out to kill them anymore. I want to observe this shit.
The fact that that day where
Where he played cat and mouse
where
with you?
we were doing that, there was something more to him than
Found a connection, didn't you?
than a trophy. And I don't go out in the woods because you got all these people. Oh, I want to be in the woods and I want to be in the spiritual side of it, and I want to
Okay.
be in
Not-
touch with my spiritual animal. Calm down.
Not me.
You like being outside.
Yeah. In my backyard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's those people.
Yeah,
you
you can lay on your trampoline
Yeah,
and look at the stars all the same. I do it all the time.
and you get all these people that are going. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, have a
And you get
have
all,
a shot of tequila, lay on your
Yeah,
trampoline. You're gonna be
get-
fine.
get a
there.
yard fire.
Yeah,
Calm-
listen,
calm down.
Karen and Kyle.
Yeah,
Okay,
calm
just get out there.
Calm down.
All right.
You like being outside.
Okay.
So he was more than, because when they did that, they wanted to kill it. The end goal was to kill him. And I was like, you're more to have that. You're more than a trophy to, that was the coolest thing. Because if I'd have had dogs that, we could have caught him, and I'd have caught him in 5 minutes, and we'd have put him up a tree, called the client, had a client.
And you wouldn't have had that relationship.
No, and to have that where he wasn't running from the dogs, he was there.
Did you name him in your head?
No,
Terrence. I want to name him Terrence.
we do need to
Feels
name.
like a good. Yeah,
I like
we do.
Terrence.
I like Terrence. We
Let's
call
go
him. We
Terrence.
call him Terry when we're drinking, or there's a card game or something, T. We call him T.
Right, right.
Hey, what's up, T?
No, deduce it down, right?
Yeah.
T's a great name.
The longer we go, the longer we get to know him. That made it a little bit different because he really could. And there's people getting out there. Oh, he could have killed. Yeah, he really could have if he really wanted to.
Can you imagine dying from a fucking mountain lion?
Yeah,
a big giant
yeah,
house cat jumps on you?
He'd get on he'd crush your skull. He'd just bite your head and crush your skull, or
Fuck.
back of your neck, and that'd be it.
You know what? I would just relax. Just fucking get it over with.
Yeah,
I'd
man.
expose
Yeah,
my
I
neck.
wouldn't even. I'd try to scratch his ears,
Yeah.
or calm him down, make him purr, and so yeah, we did that cat and mouse thing, and he could have left, and in the end, he would just keep going higher. We went from rocks to trees, and he just, wherever we went, we did that thing.
Was your father and your uncle still involved when you made the switch to just want to observe? What did they say to you?
I didn't really, I kind of separated. from them. Kind of went on my own, and
because you don't want to be called a pussy.
well, that
right?
that true. You know what? That's true. That's true because
We're from the same era. I know how it went down.
That's true because when I did go hunting deer and I did have a tag, you know, there were we had plenty of opportunities to shoot little ones.
Okay.
You know, and I didn't want to shoot a little one. I'll hold out for a big one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I didn't want to shoot a little one. You know, it's a baby. You know, I didn't want to kill it. I didn't want to kill it just for the sake of killing it.
Right.
You know, and as like I say, what switched was that, and those deer and elk were in full panic mode. You know, they were running, they were trying to get away.
It's not their natural state.
Yeah, they weren't. They knew you were there, and they knew what time of year it was, and they knew what was coming up.
Isn't that crazy? They could read the shit.
Yeah, and I wanted to know, okay, what do you do when you're not in panic mode?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go, and what do you do?
How old are you?
55.
No, not now.
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh, 19.
Okay.
Early 20.
Okay.
Early 20s.
Wow.
So what do you do when you're not in panic mode?
Yeah.
Oh, because I think at the beginning of this, you had said you were just a kid.
Yeah, I was a kid.
When you started tracking
to
help people.
Oh yeah,
hunt.
I was like 14, 15 when all of that went down.
Okay, so
You
about
know,
5-6 years
Yeah.
before you said, what is your life like when you're not fucking
Yeah.
stressed?
What are you doing? Because in Willard,
when you're not like Florida Evans in Good Times, worried about the bills and shit, right?
yeah, what are you doing? Man?
Damn,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and that's what it was, and I like I say, we didn't have the optics that you have now. You didn't have a $3,000 Swarovski spotting scope where you could look 2 miles away and judge this animal or watch this animal. Back then, if you wanted to judge an animal or see an animal, you had to get close. You know,
Can somebody make a 2-mile shot? Is there a gun
they
that
got
can do
50
that?
calibers now, and you know.
So could make that
No,
shot.
I don't think so. I
don't
think
that
like
far.
who is it?
Sure.
I think there's some custom rifles that they're shooting, you know, 800 yards. They're
Okay.
killing elk at 800-900
Okay,
yards.
but there's optics that can do 2 miles.
Oh yeah,
so you can see what's going on.
You can see them optics.
Which takes the sport out of it.
Yeah,
to me.
I kind of see that too. You know, I drew a tag a few years ago, and we were looking at deer. We watched this one deer that we were going to try to put a move on him, and he was about a mile away, and we were looking at him, and you could see every part of his, you know, his antler structure and you know and all of that, and he was about a mile away.
Okay. All right, and so here you are. You're like, I just want to see what you do when
Yeah.
you're not in stress.
Yeah, and so and when I lived in Willard, we were out the back door and we were on the hill, and so I'd see how close I could get to a deer. I'd see, okay, you know, I'd see them, you know, and I'd be okay. What do I got to do to get close?
Are you doing an army crawl?
No,
or you stand up?
no. I'd turn the wind around in my face, and I'd put a hill over me, and I'd kind of stay downwind from them.
I would like you to speak English.
Do
All
you
right.
ha-
What
do
is
you-
turn the wind around? So you go.
So the wind's in my face.
So the wind's blowing from him to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
And
you
then
ever wear a
put a
ghillie
hill.
suit?
No,
What's a hill?
like a hill, like a mountain. You know,
So you had to.
I'd put something between me and him visually, so he
there's
couldn't
so many
see me.
different variables. You had to have the wind
Oh,
blowing
you had
towards
to have,
that hill.
Yeah, and they got them big mule deer ears. They can hear you, and
Okay.
you know, and we would just try to see how close we could get to him.
Who's we?
Yeah.
Like if I was with a friend, or like I had a cousin that we would do that a lot
Okay.
with, and he'd say, "I bet you we can get within 25 feet of him before we bump him." And I'm like, "All right, let's see."
How close did you get?
To a deer,
Yeah.
very close, very, very, very close.
That sounds like a Keith answer. Is that from here to you, or is that 10 feet?
To a deer,
You ever touched one?
no, could
No.
have.
So you were fucking feet
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
coming. He came down a trail. A young deer came down a trail, and I was on a tree. And back then, when we were hunting deer, and we're you know, early 20s, we were like rubbing sagebrush on us.
I was gonna ask you that. Did you rub
And we were
dung
doing,
on you?
and we were doing all that, you know, and trying to
I-
disguise and all that. And
Keith's voice covered it, but I asked, had you ever worn a ghillie suit
no,
to do that?
I have
So-
a friend did. I have a friends
Those
did.
are terrifying.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch YouTube
And those
videos
guys, you
and
know,
just watch
yeah.
these guys,
Those-
and they're like, "Can you spot the thing?"
Yeah.
And no, I can't. And then all of a sudden, a dude stands up.
Stands
yeah,
up.
dude stands
but,
up.
So two interesting facts. So first of all, the longest sniper shot, which is a human kill, so I guess whatever, is 1.5
Yeah.
miles.
Is that Halfcock? Carl Halfcock?
That's the
I don't
one.
remember who that. I looked it up and I pulled it away because like like that's terrible, and I understand war, and that's what it was. But 1.5 miles to kill another human is sad. But the longest,
They must have needed to be killed.
well, they probably did. The longest game or hunting shot is 1,336 feet, which is 4.5 football fields.
That's 400 yards. No, you can
Four
get
or
on. You can
five.
get on YouTube. They're making 800 yard shots on deer now.
Now they are?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was just what was in this
Yeah.
record that I was looking at.
Yeah,
so.
there's. I can't remember.
He said,
who-
"Update your shit."
Yeah, there's.
That's the Google, not me.
Yeah,
for the record.
there's. You can get on YouTube and do them long shot. Them guys out of Wyoming, and I can't remember the name of the rifle.
But you and I talked before this started, and we were talking like recording shows and talking about like podcasting, what it is you do like to track and watch animals. And you said something to me that I think maybe goes to that point, that those that know what they're doing and those that are in it don't need to put it out there like
That's true.
shows.
That's true. My brother's that way. My brother he's renowned as a fly fishing guide. He really is. He's a famous fly fishing guide, and he posts a little bit, but he's the one that told me that the guys that are really badass, they don't have to do that. And
they don't have to share it.
They don't. They don't have to brag, and they don't have to put it out, and they don't have to do anything like that. I don't belong in social media, and we catch big fish. We catch big fish all the time. Andy posts a little bit, but it's not. That's kind of not what
The
I'm.
social media side of it isn't what you're after.
Doesn't matter to me.
You,
Nope.
it's the find, it's the
Nope,
track,
it's
it's the
the-
find,
yep,
it's the experience, and then you get to share that with somebody else, and they can have their experience.
Yeah, and the people that I share it with, they know. They're like, oh, really? Again, you're dicking with them mountain lions again, and and that was just. If I never hunted again after that, I was cool with it.
Off that one you
mount-
talking
off
about.
that mountain line. Yeah, he did that, and I to this day I want to believe that he felt. I don't want to do. I don't want it to sound that way. He was just as curious about me as I was him.
Right.
You had that connection.
And
Right.
That's what
he
you
was
didn't
using
want to
all
say.
his shit
He was-
to get close to you. You was using all your shit to get close to him.
And he was probably going, "What are you doing?"
I
And
like
was
that
doing
you
the
say
same
that
thing.
because my as you know, my dog's passed away,
Mhm.
right? And so I got a new dog, and that connection you build with that dog,
Yeah.
that trust. Like when I first got the dog, the first night he was crying because he wanted his mom and his
Yeah, yeah.
brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and now he can't do without me.
Yeah.
And you just build that connection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just that connection you have with shit. You with tracking that animal. You guys have that connection the last
Yeah, and all I wanted to do was see him.
How long ago was this?
Oh, you know what? It's probably, I was just dating Holly. My
And you've
wife.
been married 30
We've
years.
been 30 years.
So it's 31 years ago.
Yeah, it's probably that long ago.
And you still remember that. It's
It-
indelible
it-
in your mind.
It is imprinted. It is one of the best days I ever had. And I didn't kill anything.
So what's the closest you ever been to a mountain lion?
Oh, my uncle's killed him. I've
A live mountain lion.
in a tree, really, really
Okay,
close.
so you never been able to sneak up on one.
No.
All right.
No, like I say, I cut that down to about, we were right on top of each other. When he backtracked and I cut across to cut him off, I cut him off. And I don't know that he was, and when he left, he was right there. He was, I stopped and I looked because I was like, okay, I got you. Where are you? Because he was that close that I was looking for him.
You seen bears?
Yeah, I've seen bears, but we didn't really mess with bears.
Why?
There wasn't a lot of them around here. You had to go to like the Book Cliffs, and they were a different animal, and they went and they hunted bears. I did not go on their bear hunts. I did hunt bear in Montana. I hunted bear in Montana one year.
And what is that like?
It was different. We didn't have dogs. It was kind of like a bait thing. You made this stinky bait and you opened up a bucket and hope a bear came in. It was kind of like a
Bears are so weird to me.
bears are weird.
Yeah, they're like, they walk on 2 legs and they walk on 4 legs and
Yeah.
they eat you, then they scratch you.
Yeah, and these were black bears. I don't want to mess around with grizzlies. We've gone to Montana and fly fished in the heart of grizzly country.
You seen him?
No.
You never seen a grizzly?
Seen the tracks.
So you seen a black bear? You ever seen a brown bear?
Grizzly, yeah, but it was in a park. We were in Glacier National Park, and one was eating on the hillside.
That's a grizzly.
That was a grizzly.
So a brown bear is a grizzly?
Yeah. It was a grizzly bear. But grizzly bears in America are different than the ones in Alaska. You got the Kodiaks. Alaskan brown bears, the ones in America are grizzlies.
They will kill you.
A grizzly bear in America will kill you.
There's that one dude, him and his girl, they would see how, kind of like you with the mountain lion, right? They would see how close they could get to the grizzly bears, and they'd live with them and shit. And one day the grizzly bear looked over and said, "Bitch, what are you doing here?" And the girl had the audio on. She had the lens cover on.
He killed him.
And he ate the dude, and he ate the girl, or they.
Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name. Tim, I can't remember, but I'm familiar with him.
I only fuck with dogs. I don't fuck with horses.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with
they're
fucking
big.
mule deer.
Yeah, they're big. Horses are big.
Nothing strong. A horse bit me on my arm
that
one
hurts.
time. Hurt like shit.
Yeah.
And the reason why it bit me is because I couldn't see his baby. And I was like, all he had to do is tell me to move.
Yeah, and in Willard, we had horses, and we always had, my grandfather had this saying that, you can always buy a good horse. Don't mess with wild horses or unbroke horses.
Okay.
Buy good broke horses. And, and we would, when our horses, we'd go feed them, you'd take an apple or something like that, and I'd put an apple in pretty soon they know they got an apple, and my horse bit me on the back of my arm looking for his apple.
Hurt like shit.
Hell yeah, man, that hurt.
Yeah.
You see the size of them teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt.
They got weird human teeth, too.
Yeah,
they don't have like cougar teeth.
They got the Bucky Beavers, man.
Yeah,
they don't have a canine, man.
All you had to do is ever watch Mr. Ed back in the day. That'd show you what they look
You
like.
dated yourself and me.
Man. Yeah. We all in this studio know who Mr. Ed is.
So what are you doing now? You fish a lot.
Yeah, I'm fishing now, and I don't hunt anymore like I used to because hunting has changed. You have to draw a tag. And you have to draw the area. You have to pick the area you want to go, and you have to put in. And if you draw the area, then you can go. If you don't draw the area, you don't get to go.
Okay.
And so like I say, I've kind of evolved. I don't hunt deer anymore. I've already killed them. I don't hunt elk anymore. I've already killed them.
Do deer and elk taste different?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Now it's antelope. If you are an antelope, I wanna kill an antelope.
You want to kill?
Yeah, because part of my guide thing when I was guiding for that ranch, they gave me an antelope tag. Every year we got an antelope tag.
Okay.
That was part of the deal. Well, I let Andy kill it. My son.
Andy.
Andy's my son, and he would shoot it in exchange. We did a barter thing. Hey, you guide for us, we'll give you an antelope tag.
Oh wow.
So we did that, and and if you hunt, people say, "Ooh, antelope are nasty. Antelope are nasty." Well, I started hanging out with these guys. They're like, "No, it's better than anything you've ever eaten, but it's how you take care of it." And so when we took care of it the way, man, it was good. It was good. And
when you say take care of it, what do you mean?
Well, so people say that if you make an antelope run and you get the adrenaline going, it's awful. And the first
so
one,
it changes like
I hear that about a lot of animals.
Yeah, and so my son, it was the first big game animal he shot. He shot it and he didn't make a good shot. And this antelope's running all crazy around until he finally, till he finally kills it. And I'm like, oh man, I hear this is gonna be bad. And they're like, no, we got this. So what the key to that is to get them on ice. You got to you got to get that on ice right now. So ever since then, we would take bags of ice, and he would shoot an antelope every year. We'd put it on ice, and it is really the only wild game, big game animal that my wife loves is antelope. And the rest of it, elk, deer, it's okay.
Well, and you're a big game animal for your wife, right?
Yeah. She chews me up, man. Yeah, I'm a chew toy, man.
You're right.
I'm a chew toy.
Put your leopard skins on.
Yeah, I'm a chew toy.
That's nuts. All right, so now with the fish, you talked about earlier where you can see where trout are in the water. You can even read water now?
Yeah, you got to read the water, and that's the thing.
Are you Native American?
No,
I'm glad you asked because I was just about to.
But that's not. No,
I disagree.
No, I buy that shit. Look, all Chinese people know kung fu, okay, and all Native Americans.
Yeah.
All black people can dunk, and all Asians know math.
Yeah. Italians can cook, and
no, seriously.
Yeah. No, that had nothing to do with it. How I got fly fishing was I was 6 years old. They put a fly rod in my hand.
Okay.
And
hard work.
No, No, you gotta walk up a river.
Okay, hard work for me.
You gotta wade up
Yeah.
a river.
I'm going tomorrow.
You gotta fight the good for you.
My son, for some reason, has become the second African American redneck behind Karl Malone, and he likes
Malone.
to fish.
Yeah.
And so tomorrow, I bought some waders so I can hang out with my son.
You know what? You should go with us, man. We catch big ones.
We're gonna hang out.
Yeah,
right?
you should go with us.
Look.
You should have Andy take you.
All right. Well, first of all, if I catch a fish, I don't know what to do with it. I'm gonna take my beer bottle and bash him in the
No,
head.
yeah,
and make
put
sure
him
he-
in. Put him in the net. Put him in
Catch
the
and
I
net.
don't know how to
release.
gut it. My
Put it-
son
are
knows
you-
how.
yeah, you know, if you're gonna keep
But
'em.
he says
Catch
you gotta
and
walk
release.
down the river and then
Yeah, you
walk
catch
up
and
the
release.
river, and you gotta fish in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be doing that tomorrow, Rudy.
Yeah,
so
you know
you'll
what?
get these stories.
Yeah, you know, my theory is that like my wife, I can't teach my wife how to fly fish
Why?
because she's my wife.
Okay.
So I would have my brother teach her, and my brother's wife, he can't teach her, and he's been a guide for. He is a world-renowned fly fishing guide, and he cannot teach her how to fly.
She don't listen to him.
She don't listen to him, and they get offended. And I would rather teach my wife than I would, because I've taught a lot of people. I've taught a lot of people how to fly fish. I would much rather teach a woman than I would a man.
Okay.
You know, because men get in their ego and they get pissed off and they get this and that. My wife
Not me.
would actually listen. My wife would be a fly fisherman guide's dream, because she would listen and she would take what he said and she wouldn't let her ego go, and she would apply it.
I learned a long time ago to know what I'm good at and what I'm not good
Yeah,
at.
you'd be good at it.
And I'm horrible at fly fishing
No,
because
you-
my son tried to teach me.
Yeah,
He
see,
said,
that's a problem.
You gotta wrist it. You gotta.
No, you don't
no,
wrist it.
I don't yell.
I can teach you in 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I can teach you in 5
It's all,
minutes.
it's all about the limp wrist.
Also,
teach you about 5 minutes.
that's nice. Wood. Also, like the people that tried to teach me how to swim, and I've almost drowned 4 times. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
That's-
and so that's where that came from. They put a fly rod in my hand, and that's my grandfather. He was a fly fisherman. My father fly fished, and I learned from them. And again, a little bit later, kind of break away, kind of do my own thing, learn my own thing, and yeah, I'm 55, so over almost 50 years of fly fishing, climbing in and out of rivers. We've kind of, because by and large, a trout. You can catch trout. You go into sportsmen, all that stuff works. Power bait works. Spinners work. Rapalas work. You can get on and somebody in a boat trolling is catching trout.
lawn chairs work.
Yeah, lawn chairs work. There's nothing wrong with lawn
they do.
chairs.
My
Yeah,
buddy
put some
once he
power bait and a worm.
he walked out early and he saw all these fish spawning,
Uh-huh.
right? And he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna go back tomorrow when they're spawning at 3 in the morning." And he went back and they were spawning, and he put a lawn chair and he blocked them off. It's my boy Fam, and he took the fucking other lawn chair and he scooped them all out
Yeah.
onto the grass,
Yeah.
which is very illegal.
Yep,
But we ate
yep.
good that night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
If you,
yeah.
I don't care for trout. I don't care for trout. I do own a casting rod. I will catfish.
One of the
Oh man, I love to catfish.
one of the best experiences I ever had. I had never been troll fishing before, and a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, let's go do this." We hop on a boat because you get to sit on a boat.
you
You
sit on
just
a boat,
putz
row,
around
putz
the
I hate
lake, and we were catching fish like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I
Like,
hate it.
What?
You don't like fish
I
from
hate
boat?
it. I hate
Oh.
trolling. Yeah, you
It
go
was-
about 2 miles an hour. And
Yeah.
my dad has a boat, and he has downriggers, with a weight. You tie your line to a big weight, and he's got
And
fish
then this
finders.
little fish thingy
Yeah.
flutters at the
Yeah,
bottom,
and it
and then
floats
the
it.
big fish
Yeah.
go for it.
And so
It's awesome.
they can't get away from him because he's got a fish finder, and he can see the depth of the fish.
Yeah,
And he can
Damn.
see- yeah, and then he just
it's
lowers.
all cheating.
He lowers the downrigger down,
Yeah.
and they go through. And him and Andy, they catch
Yeah,
fish. They catch fish all day.
They
They
better.
found
Yeah,
the cheat code.
But if I go to a lake, I take a fly rod and I walk the bank, and I'll put waders on, and I'll walk out there and I'll fish a lake like I would a river.
Yeah.
Just walk the bank, cast out, cover the bank. I can't sit there other than catfishing. I can't sit, but I'll sit all night.
So
on a
your
catfishing
your
rod.
son and your father put in the cheat code. They're the up down left right
Mm-hmm.
BA select star, and you were just like, I don't need a cheat code. I can get to the end of this game by just doing it on my own. So there's two types of fishermen. I'm
Yeah.
the cheat code.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
By the
that.
way.
Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that at all.
I put in the cheat code.
I caught a shark one time.
Yeah.
A baby shark. No, I
Yeah,
did.
that's
I got a
cool.
picture of it. I caught a fucking shark
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah.
I want a picture of you riding a moose. I want you to sneak
No,
up
I'm
on
not-
a
yeah.
moose.
I've been close to moose on horses. I've been.
Those are big
Yeah, they're
animals.
big, and people say they charge them. I've been close.
Do you rub dung on your horse?
No, it's just get on him and go. And the horse is just a vehicle, because still, even then, the horse gets me there, and then I get off, tie him off, and then I go. And And like the elk I've killed, I didn't kill them off a horse. I had the horses tied, walked off, found the elk, shot an elk, went back, got the horse, and hauled them out.
I love you guys. I don't get it. Like I know there's a whole store where I can get meat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the fact that you guys go out there and do this shit,
Mhm.
and now you going out and playing tag with fucking mountain lions and deer and shit, which is awesome. So your hunting days are behind you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, even now, if I see a mountain lion, I'll turn around and follow him.
You ask him, does he know Terrence, huh?
Yeah,
You
man,
been to Terrence?
T, right? T, tell him I said hi. That son of a bitch. He never answers my text.
What is that? What you're saying?
That is what I'm saying with Rudy. With that, is that what you're saying over there?
Thank you.
Yes. he made
We,
yes.
we
that's
never
what
tell him. We never
No,
tell the guests that's
that's-
what you say at the end, right?
Yeah, no,
Oh, okay.
but we do that because we want the authentic
Authentic.
ending.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, guys, with this, I hope you all appreciate. I'm gonna switch our screen back. Hope you all appreciated this tour through another mask off with Rudy here. Very insightful. Very. We learned a lot, and
Yes.
what I did
Yes.
learn is that I'm still not killing any other animal ever. I'll watch them from my car as I drive through the mountains.
You been to
or,
bear? You been to Bear World up in Idaho?
Bear World?
Yeah.
No.
Don't
I have not.
enunciate like that. I fucking can't see it. You been to Bear World?
Yes. It's a cool
You know
place.
what I
Yeah,
said.
you drive right through it.
Yeah, you
Love
drive
it.
through it and they
Yeah.
come up on
Yeah,
you
you
and
come
shit.
up. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can take
that's-
a tour, and they feed you can ride on top of that van and feed them.
Not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
That is the type of hunting that I like to do. Is just not. And anyways, guys, you know where our sponsors are. Go check those guys out. Also, we have something new. So those of you that just listen and watch on Facebook, we have the new subscriber button. So if you would like to subscribe, get our closed door sessions, which you can get only on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It is a small fee. Facebook has the same thing now. So if you'd like to subscribe over there, you get the closed door sessions. We got another one coming up here quick. So you'll want to subscribe so you can hear that. I'm not going to even tell you what it's about right now because I don't want to spoil it. I want you to be surprised. Man, the snuggles are kicking my head. I want you to be so surprised. I keep wanting to say subscribe.
There's so much snaggles. There's snaggles all over the place, man.
Yeah, that is it. And with that, Keith and Rudy, you two gentlemen, I got to tell you, it has been nothing short of a pleasure.
We out.